Have you ever bolted awake between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., staring into the dark, wondering why your body refuses to let you sleep? If you're an older woman, this isn't just some random glitch in your night. It's your body whispering secrets about your health, your emotions, maybe even your future. I'm about to unpack 5 game-changing steps that'll transform those restless, bleary-eyed moments into a surprising chance for calm, clarity, and a better you. Stick around to the end, because you won't just learn how to dodge the panic spiral that keeps you wired. You'll discover a hidden trick most people miss that could unlock deeper sleep and sharper days. Curious why history's sharpest minds, like Benjamin Franklin, turned these wee hours into gold? Or how a simple sip could reset your whole system? Maybe you're dying to know what your 4 a.m. restlessness is trying to tell you. Every step's a revelation, and number 4's the sleeper hit that ties it all together. Watch this through, and you'll never dread those pre-dawn wake-ups again. Promise. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. 1. Don't force sleep. Do this instead. Imagine this. You wake up, startled, in the middle of the night. Your eyes snap open and you squint at the clock on your bedside table, only to be greeted by the harsh red glow of 3:17 a.m. It feels like the entire world is asleep, and yet, here you are, wide awake. The weight of dread starts to seep in. How often has this happened to you? Your mind begins its spiral. If I fall asleep right now, I'll still get 3 hours of sleep. Wait, no, 2.5. Oh no, now it's down to 1 hour. God, I'm going to be a zombie tomorrow. Your heart starts racing, your mind buzzing with worry. The harder you try to force yourself back into the comforting embrace of sleep, the further it slips away. It's like chasing the wind. Does this feel familiar? Trust me, you are not alone in this struggle. Waking up between 3 o'clock and 5 a.m. is something that happens to more people than you might think. It's not a doom-filled omen, nor does it mean the end of the world. But here's the harsh truth. Panicking and wrestling with yourself to sleep again is the absolute worst thing you can do. Let's take a moment to dive deeper into why this is, and more importantly, what you can do instead. Forcing sleep is like trying to catch lightning in a bottle. It's a futile effort. It will only fuel your frustration, which only makes the problem worse. When you lie there, desperately pleading with your body to shut down, you are only increasing your stress levels, and that's the last thing you need. Stress triggers cortisol, that sneaky hormone that acts like your body's alarm clock, signaling that you're in fight or flight mode. Instead of relaxing, your system gets an unnatural boost of energy, shifting into overdrive. Your body is telling you, nope, we're awake now. Deal with it. It's a cruel joke. The more you try to force sleep, the more elusive it becomes. I know it's frustrating, but that's the truth. But what if we could flip the script and turn these frustrating wake-ups into something more peaceful? Maybe even productive. Instead of lying there in misery, writhing in defeat, I urge you to try this. Sit up gently. Don't jolt yourself into full alertness, but make a small change in posture. This tiny shift sends a message to your brain that you're not trapped in a vortex of anxiety. Now, focus on your breathing. Close your eyes and take slow, deliberate breaths. Inhale deeply through your nose for a count of 4, hold for a brief moment, then exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 6. Repeat this a few times. You might wonder, why does this matter? This simple breathing exercise is a cheat code for your nervous system. It activates your parasympathetic response, the rest and digest mode that directly counteracts cortisol's stress-induced havoc. Your body starts to calm down, and soon, your shoulders loosen, your heartbeat slows, and you feel your body ease into relaxation. It's not magic. This is just your biology doing its job. Your body craves peace, and you are giving it what it needs. Now, let's do some detective work. What could have disturbed your sleep? Is your pillow so flat it feels like you're lying on a concrete slab? Maybe your sheets are twisted, hugging your legs like an unwelcome boa constrictor? Or perhaps the room is stuffy, or maybe it's too hot. Again, the perfect conditions for insomnia. Or worse yet, is it freezing because someone left the window cracked open in March? These seemingly insignificant discomforts are often the real culprits that yank you out of slumber, but they're easy to fix. So don't wait until morning. Take control right now. Fluff up that pillow, untangle the sheets, adjust the thermostat. Aim for 60 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit, which is the sweet spot for sleep according to science. Maybe even take a sip of water, as dehydration could be the sneaky culprit here, too. The point is, don't just lie there and endure it. Take charge of your environment. Making these small tweaks might seem trivial, but they can truly make a world of difference in helping you drift back to sleep. Here's the kicker: those early morning hours, between 3 o'clock and 5 a.m., aren't just some cruel cosmic punishment. They've earned a strange, almost mystical reputation in folklore, the witching hour or hour of the wolf. While the supernatural connotations are all fun and games, there's a fascinating truth behind these odd hours. Some of history's greatest minds, like Benjamin Franklin, who, by the way, was 55 years old, and Thomas Edison, at age 35, didn't just deal with early wake-ups, they embraced them. Franklin napped in short bursts throughout the day, claiming it fueled his creativity. Edison, the man who revolutionized the world, reportedly slept as little as 2 hours a night, using those quiet hours to dream up the inventions that would change everything. This isn't just a weird coincidence. Those quiet, lonely hours when the world is still and your mind is floating in a haze between sleep and wakefulness, they can be a goldmine for creativity. You may not be designing the next light bulb, but you could be onto something just as brilliant. Keep a notebook and pen next to your bed, nothing fancy, just something you can grab easily. Jot down whatever's swirling in your mind. A fleeting thought, an idea for a project you've been working on, a problem you've been struggling to solve, or even a grocery list. You'd be amazed at how these late-night scribblings can turn into something brilliant by morning. Not into writing. That's okay. You don't have to turn every wake-up into a creative session. Instead, try a low-stakes distraction to calm your mind. Avoid reaching for your phone. That blue light is a cortisol trigger, and let's be honest, those mindless TikTok videos will only make things worse. Instead, picture something calm and soothing. Imagine the sound of waves gently lapping the shore or the serenity of a forest at dawn. If you're feeling restless, get out of bed for a moment, stretch your arms, roll your shoulders, reset your body. The key here is to avoid falling into the stress trap. Accept that you're awake, but don't see it as a failure. This is just a moment to reclaim. Sleep will come when it's ready. Your job is to set the stage, not force the curtain down. 2. Hydrate, but smartly. You wake up again, 3:47 a.m. this time, and something doesn't feel right. Your mouth is as dry as the desert, like you've been chewing on cotton balls all night. Maybe your legs feel twitchy, restless, refusing to settle. Or maybe you're feeling strangely overheated, despite the cool room. Sound familiar? One of the most overlooked reasons for these discomforts could be dehydration. It sneaks up on you. While you sleep, your body loses water through breath and sweat. Now, your body is sending you a not-so-subtle SOS. That dry, unsettled feeling? It's your system begging for a top-up. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Before you dash to the kitchen and start chugging water from the tap, let's talk strategy. Hydrating in the middle of the night isn't about drowning your system with a big gulp of cold water. No, it's about doing it right. If you get this right, you might be able to turn a groggy wake-up into a smooth transition back to sleep. First, avoid ice-cold water. I know it feels tempting, especially if you're overheated and frazzled, but cold water is a shock to your system. It's like tossing a bucket of cold water on a sleepy cat. Your stomach tenses, your body wakes up, and suddenly, you're more alert than before. Instead, opt for room temperature or slightly warm water. It's gentler, more in line with your body's natural state, and it won't jolt you awake. Let's take it a step further. Plain water is good, but your body needs more than just H2O. While you've been sleeping, your system has been quietly shedding essential minerals like sodium, potassium, and magnesium. If you've ever woken up with a headache or that anxious, wired feeling, that's a clue that you're running low on electrolytes. Try this. Add a tiny pinch of high-quality sea salt, Celtic or Himalayan, not the iodized table stuff, to your water. We're talking a tiny pinch, not a saltwater gargle. It's a subtle, restorative boost that helps restore balance without overloading your kidneys. Not into salt? No problem. A splash of lemon juice works wonders too. It aids digestion, which slows down during the night, and it provides a bit of potassium. Sip it slowly, let it settle, and feel the difference. If anxiety is creeping in and your mind keeps replaying that awkward conversation from 3 days ago, here's a pro move. Keep a thermos of chamomile tea nearby. Brew it lightly before bed and let it steep beside your bed. Chamomile isn't just some old wives' tale. It contains apigenin, a compound that binds to receptors in your brain, reducing anxiety and pushing you gently toward calm. The warmth soothes your throat, and the faint floral taste quiets your racing thoughts. Before you know it, you'll be drifting back to sleep, rather than lying there, overthinking. And the bonus? Chamomile hydrates without flooding your bladder, so you won't be waking up again in an hour. Why does this matter? Because dehydration doesn't just mess with your body, it messes with your sleep cycle. When you're dehydrated, your heart works harder, your body's temperature regulation goes haywire, and your muscles get twitchy. These subtle disruptions can pull you from sleep, but they're quiet enough that you might not even realize the cause. A smart hydration tweak can make a world of difference. It's like adding a little oil to a car engine during a long road trip. It's not about drowning the system, just keeping it running smoothly. So the next time you wake up in the middle of the night, parched or restless, don't just guzzle water and hope for the best. Sip something warm, boost your minerals, or lean on chamomile's calming embrace. It's a small ritual, but it can transform your bleary-eyed wake-up into a peaceful reset. Your body and your sleep will thank you. 3. Check your emotions. It might be a signal. There are moments when you wake up in the middle of the night, at 4:12 a.m., to be exact, and it's not just the usual grogginess or the after-effects of a restless sleep. It's something deeper, a kind of weight pressing down on your chest, a restless hum that stirs in your bones. You feel it, that ache that you can't quite name, but it's there, lingering like an unwelcome guest. Maybe your mind is already running a marathon, replaying a tense moment from yesterday, or maybe it's the anticipation of something looming on the horizon tomorrow that leaves you feeling unsettled. Does this sound familiar to you? What if I told you this wasn't just some random disturbance? What if this feeling, this nagging sensation, was a message from your body? A kind of emotional alarm clock ringing in the stillness of the night. It's not just your imagination playing tricks on you. In traditional Chinese medicine, TCM, there's a fascinating concept that ties those early hours, roughly between 3 to 5 a.m., directly to the lungs. But here's the kicker. In TCM, the lungs aren't just about breath. No, they are intricately linked to emotions, particularly those heavy, often unresolved feelings like sadness, grief, and stress. When you wake up during that sacred window, feeling weighed down by a quiet sadness or some emotional turmoil, it might not be a coincidence. Your body might just be trying to tell you something, urging you to pay attention to what's hiding deep beneath the surface. Now, let's dig a little deeper, because this is where things get truly interesting. According to TCM, every organ in your body has a specific time during the day when it's at its peak activity. The lungs, as I mentioned, rule that delicate window of 3 to 5 a.m., and during this time, your body is believed to not only process air but also emotional residue. Picture it like a quiet cleaning crew that works through the mess left behind by the day's emotional chaos. If you've been carrying around unresolved sadness, grief from a loss, the sting of a hurtful word, or the weight of unspoken words, those quiet regrets and stresses, well, guess what? They may decide to resurface when the world around you is asleep, and you're left there alone in the dark, holding the weight of it all. And sure, modern science doesn't necessarily describe it the same way as TCM, but don't dismiss it just yet. There's a growing body of research showing that stress and emotional overload can severely disrupt sleep. And guess when it's most likely to strike? That's right, the early hours of the morning. When your mind is sorting through the baggage you've accumulated, and it's amplifying those unresolved emotions, everything seems so much bigger, doesn't it? Have you noticed how problems often appear insurmountable at night? That's your mind's way of taking the emotions you've stuffed down and making them feel as though they're growing out of control. So, what do you do when you wake up in the middle of the night, feeling restless, anxious, and heavy? Don't just lie there, waiting for the discomfort to take root and grow. I've been there, and trust me, staying still only makes it worse. You have to check in with yourself. Listen to what your mind and body are trying to tell you. Sit up, prop a pillow behind you, and take a moment to ask yourself, what's weighing on my heart right now? Don't overthink it. Just let the first thing that comes to mind bubble up. Maybe it's a specific worry, like a deadline that's been haunting you or a conversation you're dreading. Maybe it's more vague, something deeper, like a sadness you've been too busy to face or something you've been avoiding. Here's where I urge you to do something simple but profound. Grab your notebook from the nightstand. Yes, I'm talking about the one you've been meaning to fill with your thoughts. The one that's been there, waiting. Take a moment to jot down 3 things that come to your mind, whatever they may be. Don't worry about perfect sentences. It could be as messy as, I'm mad at Sarah, I miss how things used to be, or even, why am I awake at this hour? Write it down. Whatever it is, just get it out of your head and onto the page. Once you've cleared some space in your mind, pair that with a physical release. Take a few slow, deliberate breaths. Inhale deeply through your nose for a count of 4, hold for a moment, and then slowly exhale through your mouth for a count of 6. Each time you exhale, imagine the tension drifting away from your body, like steam rising from a warm cup of tea. As you breathe, say to yourself, whether out loud or silently, I release this for now. This small ritual might feel trivial, but it is so powerful. You're not pretending that your feelings don't matter, or that they don't exist. You're simply permitting yourself to set them down for a moment. It's like putting a bookmark in a heavy novel. You know you'll pick it back up when the time comes, but for now, the story can wait. And don't just take my word for it. Science backs this up too. Journaling has been shown to reduce stress by helping to unload swirling thoughts and emotions. Psychologists call this externalizing cognition, and it's essentially like giving your brain a safe place to file away all those chaotic thoughts. One study from the University of Rochester found that writing about emotional experiences for just 15 minutes could reduce anxiety and improve sleep quality over time. Just imagine that. A quick scribble in the middle of the night can signal to your body and your nervous system that it's okay to relax, to unwind, and to release the grip of anxiety. And those deep, slow breaths? They're doing wonders as well. By breathing slowly and steadily, you're signaling to your body that it's time to relax. You're shifting from fight or flight mode to rest and recovery mode. You're lowering cortisol, calming your nervous system, and guiding your body back toward peace. Now, I'm not saying this will solve everything in that moment, because let's face it, you're not a superhero, and the world won't be fixed in one night. But you're listening to the signal. And that's where the real magic happens. So, the next time you wake up in the middle of the night, feeling restless or heavy-hearted, don't ignore it. Don't fight it. Lean in. Acknowledge it. Name it. And then, give yourself the gift of release. Those early morning hours might just be your emotions asking for a moment of your time. And when you listen to them, when you make space for them, you just might find that you can lay down those burdens and sleep a little lighter, a little easier, and a little freer. It's amazing what you can let go of when you truly pause and permit yourself to feel. For move gently, reset your body. It's 4:23 a.m. again. You're awake, staring at the glaring clock that seems to mock you, its unforgiving light casting shadows on your restless thoughts. You've been lying there for what feels like hours, tossing and turning, trying to find that sweet spot where sleep might finally embrace you. But instead, the sheets have become a tangled mess, wrapping around your body like a trap you can't escape. Each minute feels like an eternity. The more you try to stay still, to will yourself into the peaceful embrace of sleep, the more your body rebels against you. Your neck is stiff, your legs twitch with the restless energy of someone awake far too long, and your mind keeps spiraling into the same exhausting question. Why can't I just sleep? I know this feeling all too well. The frustration, the exhaustion, the hopelessness. It's a scene I've starred in more times than I care to admit. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. And here's the real kicker. The longer you lie there, glued to the mattress, stewing in the uncomfortable restlessness, the deeper you fall into the trap of wakefulness. It's like digging yourself into a hole you can't climb out of. After about 15 minutes of this vicious cycle, your body is practically screaming for a reset. Not a full-on workout, no, but a gentle nudge to help your mind and body remember what it's like to be calm. So, I want to share with you a simple 1-minute sleep reboot that, at first glance, might feel like it's too easy to work. But trust me, it works. It's a game changer. First, let go of the notion that you have to stay perfectly still. You're wired, your body's tight, your mind is racing. It's like trying to hold water in your hands. It's impossible. So, instead of forcing yourself to lie still, sit up slowly. Don't rush it. Prop yourself up against the headboard, or if it feels better, swing your legs over the side of the bed. Just get yourself into a seated position. The first thing you'll want to address is your neck. It's probably locked up from hours of awkward pillow fights. Gently roll your neck, lowering your chin toward your chest, then easing it to the right, letting your ear fall toward your shoulder. Breathe into it. Take a deep breath. Let it out. Now, roll to the left. Do this slowly, repeatedly. With each movement, you'll feel the tension in your shoulders start to soften. It's like you're gently coaxing your muscles to release the grip they've held all night. Your shoulders, they're probably up by your ears, clenched like they're bracing for something. I get it. But they don't have to stay that way. Lift them. Imagine you're reaching for the ceiling. Then, let them drop. Feel the release. Deep breath in as you lift. Slow breath out as you drop them back down. Do this 3 or 4 times. It's not just a stretch, it's a reset. It's like hitting the reset button on all the stress that's built up in your body. You might even hear a little crack or pop, and don't be alarmed. It's your body's way of thanking you for the attention. Now, let's get the blood flowing. Scoot to the edge of the bed if you're not already there. Try a seated forward fold. No need to make it look perfect. Just hinge at your hips and let your hands drift toward your knees or the floor. Don't force it. Think of this as a lazy stretch, a sigh for your spine. It's about releasing the tension that's been trapped in your lower back, which, if you've been horizontal for too long, can start to feel like a prison. Let that feeling go. With each breath, you'll feel the circulation begin to move again, and your body will start to relax into it. While you're down there, take a moment to breathe deeply. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Let your rib cage expand. I know it might sound like a small thing, but this signals to your nervous system that everything is okay. There's no emergency. Everything is just fine. Now, take it a step further. Let's shake out the restlessness. It's silly, but it works. Lift one leg at a time. Nothing dramatic, just a light jiggle like you're trying to shake off some water after a swim. Do it for 10 seconds per leg, and you'll notice how the twitchiness in your calves or thighs slowly fizzles out. You might feel a little ridiculous, but who cares? Those restless legs are the silent killers of your sleep, and this little trick gets them to settle down. At the same time, focus on your breathing. Slow, steady breaths. 4 counts in, 6 counts out. As you do this, your parasympathetic nervous system, that wonderful chill-out crew inside of you, begins to take over. The adrenaline that's keeping you awake is slowly being replaced by calm. If your hands or feet are cold, that's another clue that circulation's lagging, and it's making it harder for your body to relax. I've learned that when my hands or feet are icy, it's like my whole body is on alert. So, here's the trick. Rub your hands together like you're trying to start a fire, and if your feet are cold too, cup your hands over them for a few seconds. The friction warms them up quickly, and that warmth signals to your brain that it's safe to drift off into sleep. Trust me, I've been there. I know how exhausting it can be to lay awake when your mind and body are just begging for rest. But taking a few minutes for this gentle reset can change everything. It's a small act of kindness toward yourself, a way of honoring your body's needs. So next time you find yourself lying wide-eyed at 4:23 a.m., don't let the frustration consume you. Instead, try these simple movements. Give yourself the gift of reset, and let your body find its way back to peace. It's never too late to reclaim your rest. 5. Calm your brain with sound. It's 3:58 a.m. Your mind has decided that now, of all times, is the perfect moment for a mental marathon. The racing thoughts start, relentless and jarring. Did you lock the door? Oh, that meeting tomorrow. What did they mean by that? Why did you say that stupid thing in 2019? And no matter how hard you try to silence them, they only grow louder, spinning faster in your head. You're awake, wide-eyed, tangled in the web of overthinking, and sleep feels impossibly far away. Sound familiar? The frustration, the helplessness, the way your mind refuses to let go even when your body is begging for rest? It's maddening. When your mind is in overdrive like this, forcing it to calm down feels like telling a toddler to sit still after they've consumed half a birthday cake. It's near impossible. You can try to relax all you want, but it's like trying to rein in a wild stallion. Here's the thing. There's a secret weapon, one that's right at your fingertips, and it's something that can help without requiring you to summon any willpower at all. That weapon. Yes, sound. The right kind of sound can gently nudge your brain, lassoing those racing thoughts and pulling them back to calmer, slower rhythms. Forget about endlessly scrolling through your phone. That dopamine trap only makes things worse. Let's dive into a trio of sonic shortcuts that can help guide you to the sweet release of sleep, faster than you can say, insomnia. First up, pink noise. If you're familiar with white noise, the static hum that sounds like a TV left on an unused channel, you're going to love pink noise. It's like white noise's cooler, more relaxing cousin. Imagine the steady, rhythmic sound of rain gently falling against your window, or the soft whoosh of wind rustling through tree branches, or even the calming crash of ocean waves against the shore. It's warm, enveloping, like nature's lullaby for your brain. Unlike white noise, which blasts all frequencies equally and can sometimes feel a bit harsh, pink noise softens the higher pitches, creating a deeper, more soothing blanket of sound that cradles you gently into relaxation. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. But why does it work? It's not just some quirky trick. Science says it's because pink noise has a special ability to sync up with your brain's natural rhythms, coaxing your brain waves into the slower patterns that promote deep sleep. A 2017 study from Northwestern University found that not only does pink noise improve sleep quality, but it also has the incredible bonus of enhancing memory the next day. Isn't that amazing? Just by allowing yourself to drift off to the sound of gentle rain or ocean waves, you're giving your brain a chance to recharge on a whole new level. So grab a small speaker or download a track and set it to a low volume, just enough so you can hear the sound without it being jarring. Let that peaceful sound blur your racing thoughts into the background, and watch how quickly your mind begins to relax. If pink noise isn't quite the vibe you're looking for, or you want something that feels a little more intentional, try a short guided sleep meditation. We're not talking about an hour-long Zen marathon here, just a quick 5 to 10 minute session. Picture a calm, soothing voice walking you through deep breathing or a body scan. Something like Daniel Freeman, age 45, gently guiding you through the process of relaxing every part of your body. Feel your toes relax, then your feet, your ankles, your calves. It's like a bedtime story for grown-ups. But it works. Why? Because it gives your brain a task that's simple and repetitive enough to bore it, yet focused enough to derail the worry train that's trying to race away. The beauty is, you don't need any fancy apps to get started. There are plenty of free options floating around on YouTube or podcasts. Look for one without any intrusive ads or loud intros, something quiet and gentle to help you drift off without a jolt. You want the voice to be a lifeline, pulling you away from that mental chaos and back to your cozy bed. Or, if you're someone who enjoys words, try a monotone audiobook. But not just any audiobook. No thrillers or epic fantasies with booming narrators. Go for something calm and soothing, like a collection of nature essays, a dry history of Victorian gardening, or a lecture about sedimentary rocks. The key is in the monotone delivery. It's auditory Ambien for your brain. I've personally fallen asleep listening to a professor named Stone, age 60, talking about the life cycle of moss, and I was out cold in 10 minutes. I don't even care about plants, but that steady, low-energy voice worked wonders. Keep the audiobook queued up, set a sleep timer on your device, and adjust the volume to almost nothing. No loud shifts or sudden cliffhangers to jerk you awake. Why does this work? It's all about the brain's love for patterns. When it's running wild, like a car stuck in high gear, sound can shift it into neutral, then reverse, gently easing you toward rest. It's not about drowning out your thoughts. It's about offering your mind a gentler track to follow. There's scientific backing for this, too. A 2013 review in Sleep Medicine found that low, consistent audio, like pink noise or guided sleep tracks, helps reduce nervous system arousal, cutting down the time it takes to fall asleep. The trick isn't to force your mind to stop thinking. It's to guide it toward something soothing and predictable, something that won't ramp up the stress. So next time you find yourself wide awake at 4 a.m., trapped in a whirlpool of racing thoughts, skip the endless doom scrolling and instead turn to sound. Let the rain of pink noise wash over you, surrender to the gentle pull of a guided meditation, or let a monotone narrator softly lull you to sleep. Keep it soft, steady, and free of drama. You deserve it. The hamster wheel of overthinking doesn't stand a chance. And before you know it, sleep will come, quiet and peaceful, like a long-lost friend finally returning home. So, what have you learned today? Whether it's the soothing power of pink noise, the calming rhythm of a guided meditation, or the simple yet effective trick of a monotone audiobook, these are all tools you can use to bring peace and rest to your overactive mind when you need it most. I hope you've discovered something new that you can incorporate into your life tonight. Something that will help you finally break free from the hamster wheel of overthinking and embrace the deep, restorative sleep you deserve. I'd love to hear what you've learned today. Drop a comment below this video and share one tip or technique that you're excited to try out. Maybe it's the pink noise rain, or perhaps it's the soothing voice of a guided meditation. Whatever it is, let me know what you plan to bring into your routine. And if you like this video, please leave your comment below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can stay updated with more tips and insights. Thanks for watching, And here's to better sleep and calmer nights ahead.